Good afternoon. Welcome to the Garden of Evie podcast. My name is Evie Botello. I'm joining you here on our Peak Prosperity channel, and I'm really glad that you're able to come and be with me this afternoon. I'm so thrilled that we get to go on this journey together, and I've prepared some things that I think are going to be enjoyable for us to talk about together. Now, there's a huge list of things that I would enjoy sharing with you as we continue having these podcasts together. And so as we go, we'll be learning together, and I'll be learning this technology, of course. But first off, I feel like as an introduction, not a super personal one necessarily, but for you to get to know me, it makes sense for you to also, and if you're going to spend time with me, it makes sense for you to know where I live and why I love it here. And so I've created a video today that I'm going to play again. I'm not going to be, there shouldn't be a lot of sound. I'm not speaking in the video, but I'll be in the screen talking about the video, and I can share with you essentially where we are in the sense of visually what it looks like there, and you'll be able to hear some of the sounds as well. So let me go ahead and start that for you. Now this is as you turn into our driveway. You're welcome to our farm. These are my blackberries on the left. We've got our fruit trees there lining the driveway. Now when Chris Martinson and I first found this property, we didn't get to see inside the houses at all. All we were able to do was to stand outside in the field, and our bodies just said yes about this space. It's utterly beautiful. And we have this nice open space, and there's something about being able to see the sky and the trees. And this is down into the field where our cows are. We put up, we don't have permanent fencing yet. We have just electrical, like the step-in fencing that you can get. And we have a 6-strand or whatnot wire line there. Those are our cows. We've got 2 belted Galloways, and we have 4 Irish Jerseys. That's Marilyn. She's such a sweetie. And these smaller cows, we're just kind of getting to know them, but they're very friendly, and I think that's going to make milking them a lot easier. We decided to get some mini cows just to check the breed out and see what we thought of them, because we are raising our belted Galloway for 2 reasons. One, we really wanted to be able to improve the soil if we could, just using them to help graze and stimulate all the perennials and everything, the perennial grasses in our field, but also to be able to poop into the field, of course, and pee, and all those nutrients would go back into the soil. So there's Marilyn. She's a super friendly girl. I think there's only one spot in here where I may have not realized that the camera was on, so hopefully you don't get sick to your stomach. And this is Mojo. He's our steer. He's 2 years old. He was born on the farm, and he's just a big old teddy bear. Super sweet. That one doesn't have a name yet. Maybe you guys can help me think of one. That's a heifer. She hasn't calved yet before. And this is the baby of that mama with the horns right there. The horns are a little scary, to be honest. It makes you want to be extra careful around them. They're very affectionate. She was freaked out by my filming, I think, but they're very sweet animals, and they've already integrated really well with our bigger cows, which I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. But we moved these guys around in paddocks throughout the summer. You can see the field in the background. It's actually, we divided up into quadrants, and this is some lamb's quarters. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but I love to eat this, especially before it seeds out. It's nice and tender. It's really good. It tastes kind of like spinach, actually, and it's super good for you as well. This is, we have a sawmill, and this is the pile that Chris is working on. We've got some work to do, as you can see. I actually thought maybe that was a monarch, but maybe it's a viceroy. I don't know. I can't tell for some reason. It's a little small. And these are ants that I saw that were milking aphids, which I think is just so incredible. Everything in nature has its niche. It has a job that it's cut out to do, and it knows where it belongs in that whole order of things. I think this might be the place that's a little bumpy, so forgive me for that. But basically, our cows go out and wander in here in this particular part of the field, and it's not super close to the river, of course, for lots of reasons. Sorry about that. But we do have a river right there, the West Branch of the Westfield River, which abuts our property on one side, which is really nice. It's nice and open there. And of course, if we needed water, there's water everywhere. But the cows get to go under the trees on hot days, which is really good. Because one of the things that you'll notice if you have large animals is that they need shelter, of course. They need water and access to water. They need food, of course. But it's difficult when you're trying to do this on a shoestring budget, or when you don't have a lot of money for that. And that's a picture of the poop they leave me, which is enriching our soil. Here's another picture. It's just bucolic, especially this time of year. Oh, we've got poison ivy on the property. Chris works on trying to get rid of that, but it's a process. So we walk this line because during the summer and often after a windy day or a storm or something like that, we're going to have to take branches off of this. It'll ground out the wire. And so I found a branch that I'm just going to take away from that. And this is down at the other end of the field. You can see I'm zooming into where the barn is right there. And you can see sort of the hay rolls in the background. That's our beautiful stately maple trees, the line of them right there. I found the biggest anthill ever. So this is me. I'm ADD gardener farmer girl. Everything draws my attention. But I feel like what I want to convey to you is that that's how nature is meant to be. I actually think that ADD is an asset when you're working with animals, when you're outside, because there are so many things to notice. There's, the the wind and the sun and the rain and what color green are the plants and who's eating that. And there are a million things to grab you, whereas I feel like in a man-made place, there's just not as much to catch your attention. So I'm about to take you to the pond, and I'm sort of creeping up because I'm hoping we might get to see our beaver, which may not be an asset to the whole story, but I think he's beautiful, and I love that he's here. Yeah, this is one of his runways. He just takes off straight into the water sometimes when I come up here. But as long as he doesn't get to our fruit trees, I'll be fine with him cohabitating, but he definitely has tried to dam up our pond. Chris and I were down there pulling out a whole bunch of trees and saplings and things right there at that end where you can see the spillway is. We also have some elderberry right there that he likes to prune for us. I'm pointing at it. And that typically grows up in all sorts of blackberry bramble, which is nice. So whoever put this beautiful dam in, when they said, we had a dam on the stream, we really did not understand what they meant by that. But this, I think, would be amazing to do some kind of hydro on. The water coming down through here is just phenomenal. We know how many gallons per minute we have coming out of the spring line, and this is just, another source of water in addition to that. So this is the Otis Waite Brook. And it's really cold, though, is the only thing about this, is that because it's coming from a lot of springs, we don't have a ton of frogs or fish or other wildlife in there. I think it might be too chilly for them. Oh, there's the beaver den. He's been building his house. But we're kind of worried that he might tunnel into the bank, and that could be really bad for this dam because you wouldn't ever get this permitted to do this day and age. It would be stupidly expensive and crazy. So we've got some old wood, a little bit of old growth in our forest. Mostly it was cleared back in the day. People used it for farming before. All the sweet fern everywhere, which smells so good when you walk through it. You can just hear all these beautiful birds and warblers, and there's just so much bird activity here. And this is the stream a little bit down from the dam area. I just love the water. There's something really special about it. It's relaxing. It helps you to kind of get your ground under you when you're having a rough time. Excuse me. It's another view of the dam. Oh, the beaver chew. So what makes me want to be on a farm like this? I mean, obviously it's beautiful. It's a lot of work having animals, trying to steward land like that. It takes so much effort. The reason, oh, this is neat. There's some frogs in there, I believe, or it might be newts. I'm not quite sure. It's this like gelatinous blob. It's just kind of cool. You can see them wiggling around, ready to hatch out. So I enjoy being on this land because it's asking something of me. It's asking me to be of service. It's asking me to look out for it and to observe it. And there's something about that ask that's really important as humans. When we have something to give to the world, it does something to our spirit. It speaks to us in a way maybe that nothing else does. And I feel called to be here and to be doing all the things that we're doing, which is, animal husbandry, enriching the soil as best we can, trying to bring, the soil up to the standard that we like, encouraging all sorts of species to come and make homes and to be here, which includes lots of different things. And we have one of these guys, a porcupine, hanging about. I've actually seen some of his sign here before. Porcupines, they don't tend to be too much of a problem. They enjoy eating a lot of the hemlock that we have, and they'll nip it down, and you can see there's signs of them having been here for years because it'll be all stunted and kind of dwarfy on top of the rocks like that. I was trying to see if I could get him to come out, but no luck. But you can see his sign everywhere. So I take walks like this often because our world is crazy. Our leaders seem insane. It doesn't seem as though anybody's really paying attention to what our true needs are as people, and we're lost. And so this is how I regain myself. I can't pay attention to all of the news and all the crazy going on. I can't even be on social media, really. I just go out here to this playground, and there's something so special about it. It brings me a peace that really nothing else does. Oh, this is a dryad saddle. This is a mushroom that it's actually edible. I was smelling it because it smells kind of like watermelon. It's got a funky smell to it, but it's on the chewy side. It's not the most tender thing. But in New England, you would be hard pressed to survive out in the woods, even if, there were a million deer. It's tough. We have, cold winters. It goes to freezing. I think this is obviously this is a salamander, but I'm trying to remember what kind. I think yellow-bellied? No. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting which kind that guy is, but he's cute. And yeah, that's our stream that abuts the other side of our property. And then our property goes up into the woods a little bit as well. So we have a lot of forest as part of what we're managing. The majority of our land is actually forest, which is nice. We could use that for firewood in the future, be able to support our need for heat in the winter and such like that. And also, of course, if we're going to build and whatnot, it's nice to be in a place where we know there's timber. I think this was my other moment of not okay. Oh, see those scratches from? You can see the scratches on that log from an animal that was there before. So I hope to be able to have conversations with you on this podcast, and we're going to work out sort of being able to play a video and also to see your comments while we're doing a live. But I feel called to share this beautiful world with you, and I want you to know me. I want you to know who I am, and so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time with me. And I would love to bring you on some adventures and share some of what we've been up to here at the farm with you. There's my chicken run right there next to the garden. It's nice because we can just throw like refuse tomatoes into it. It goes around like a U shape around our garden. You can see our garlic and our onions there. Stack of pallets. We're working on getting our all sorts of old vehicles and things in our yard. We're going to look like a typical New Englander soon. There's our little calf drinking out of our water. And that's our spring line there on the left, you can see. Oh yes, roosters. We all love extra roosters. Oh, and that right there. Hold on, let me pause this a second. Oh. Okay. So what you saw a minute ago, you saw our spring line that came down, which was neat. And then I don't know if you saw the almost like a pergola that our friend Norm built for us for the hardy kiwi. So we have fruit trees, hardy kiwi, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, nut trees as well, hazelnuts, filberts. I think we're growing some chestnuts right now, actually. And we're doing this for lots of reasons. We're doing it because we love these things, and both Chris and I are outdoor enthusiasts, but we're also doing it because we see a different future coming. And I have a feeling that you probably can see that too. We know there's a future coming where you wouldn't be able to drive to a grocery store and be able to find what you need. And in that case, we want to make sure we can take care of ourselves and those that are in our community. And we're looking forward to at least trying to do that. And I don't know that we're going to succeed at everything, but it feels important to us to be practicing those values every day. And we're looking at it like an adventure. It's not a doom and gloom scenario. And for those of you that are familiar with Chris Martinson's work about the crash course or Prosper, you know that he sort of takes different perspectives from many different angles. So it's not just about what's going on in the financial world, or is it, are we insolvent as a country? It's lots of things, but it's understanding all the different forms of capital that one can build up in their life. And so we're working to build all the different forms of capital here. We're trying to build our social capital. We're investing in skills and in ourselves, at learning new things. We're doing many, many things, which I would love to share with you. So please tune in again on Thursdays, because I would love to share this with you. And I also am looking forward to us being able to have more of a dialogue as we get sort of the live cast as soon as I understand all the technology and as I continue learning, I think it would be great to be able to have your comments and to be able to read them and answer questions live, which is my goal. So with that, though, I want to leave you with one quick thing because I love my poetry, as you know, those of you that have seen me before. And one of the biggest things is that I think the natural world really inspires people. And I know it did that for lots of different writers, very famous writers, in the past who have gone out to the natural world to find themselves, to find their voice and to write. And I really appreciate the work that they've done. I wanted to leave you with this. This is another poem by Mary Oliver, and it's called Invitation. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day? For the goldfinches that have gathered in a field of thistles, for a musical battle to see who can sing the highest note or the lowest, or the most expressive of mirth, or the most tender. Their strong, blunt beaks drink the air as they strive melodiously, not for your sake and not for mine, and not for the sake of winning, but for sheer delight and gratitude. Believe us, they say, it is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world. I beg of you, do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something. It could mean everything. It could be what Rilke meant when he wrote, "You must change your life." And I just want you to know that I'm dedicated to being on this journey of growth and evolution in my own life. And I look forward to sharing more of these afternoons with you. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye for now.